Parak Daled Mishnah Hey and Masechet Beitzah. We continue learning about things you can't do when you're cooking on Yom Tov or in order to create the cooking. It says the Mishnah, Ein shovrin et acheres. You can't break acheres. It's an earthenware vessel. So you can't break it. Why would you break it? 1 minute. Ve'en chotchin et taniyar. Nor can you tear the paper. Litzlot bo maliach. To roast a salted fish. So they have a fire, and if they wanted to cook the fish, you want to put your fish on your fire. If you've ever grilled fish, you would know you can't put the fish on the fire because it will just stick to the fire and it will disintegrate. That's terrible. So they would take some, piece of paper, I guess parchment that they had, or a piece of cheres, a piece of earthenware, a broken piece of pottery, and then they would use that. So if you don't have a nice piece of flat pottery, if you have broken, they wouldn't throw anything away. So I got a broken pot, I'd save it, and then I would just break it and then roast my fish. So I can't break the cheres. Why? Because I'm making a kli. I'm making something in order to prepare it, in order to prepare the fish. Ve'en gorfin tanur b'kerev. The grof means to scrape out. Okay, you actually have this phrase sometimes. Ooh, I can't show you my picture. You have this phrase sometimes in Chot Shabbat. You might have heard the term grufa. My keyboard is acting up. Grufa uketuma. Grufa uketuma. My keyboard is really acting up. Grufa uketuma really means, garuf means scraped out. Now, on Hilchot Shabbat, when you want to leave your food on the fire Friday night, you have to scrape out the coals. Here, we're actually talking about something different. About gorfin, you're not allowed to scrape out tanur v'kirayim. Gorfin means, im nafal letocha mitfula shel tanur, tefel. Part of the, part of the clay fell into the oven. Umin hatiach. Tiach is the plaster. I didn't know that word. I just looked it up. Plaster on Google. Okay? And gorfinoto, you have to scrape. You can't scrape it out. Dimitaki manu. Let me remember. It's not like our ovens that are complete and they're great for years. They would make their oven. The oven was made of pottery ware, and parts of the oven would fall in. You'd have to patch it up, scrape it out, because that's mitakin mana, fixing mana. A mana is a kli. Remember, this goes according to the Rabbanan, who said you can't prepare machshirei ochel nefesh, things that are needed in order to prepare ochel nefesh, food. So I can make food, but I can't make the things I need to make the food. Okay, so that therefore, en gorfin tanur v'kirayim, can't scrape out the oven. Kirayim, tanur is an oven. Kirayim is the stove top. It's kind of like a double stove that they had. Aval mechabshim. Let's look at the Bartanura again to see what that means. Mechabshim mashkivin et ha'efer ve'et ha'afar. I've got dirt, and I have soot. I can tamp it down, so it'll be smooth. That's part of the cooking process. Interestingly, the Bartanura notes, im I efshar le'efot ela im ken garaf. If I physically can't cook unless I scrape out because it's blocking my area, then mutar, then you're allowed to do it, because then it's necessary in order to cook itself. I'm not fixing the thing, I'm allowing myself to cook. Ve'en mekifin nu halacha. Ve'en mekifin shtei chaviyot. Lisfot alehem et hakadera. You can't take 2 chaviyot. I made you a little picture, I think you saw. Okay? Let's make this a little bigger. Okay, I want to take 2 chaviyot. Hakif means to bring them next to each other. Lisfot alehem et hakadera. To bring the kedera on the sfat. On the sfat is the edge, to have a kedera. And I'm making a makeshift field stove. Similarly, if my kedera, my pot won't stand up, I can take a bakat. Bakat is a piece of chopped wood, and I want to use it in order to prop up my either kedera, v'chein badelet, or my door is falling in. I want to use the bakat. Why can't I do that? The Bartanura says, because these pieces of wood are there for burning. Okay? And you're not allowed to use them for other reasons. They're only designated for burning, which implies that there's muksa for specific uses and not for any use. Finally, let's say I want to take my animal to slaughter it. I can't lead my animal on Yom Tov. Why? Because the Bartanura explains, the reason is because it looks like it's chora, because it looks like I'm taking it to sell in the market. Rabbi Shimon permits leading animal by a stick. Stop here and dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. As always, comments or questions, feel free to email me. Have a good day.